You gonna make that go away? Cancer. Yeah.
We be right down to the wire.
Bam.
Hello, my loves. Hello, my loves. Hello, everyone. Welcome to Monique and Sydney's Open Relationship. We missed y'all.
We missed you.
Hey, Daddy.
Hey, love.
So we went on vacation. So we missed y'all. A well-needed one, right?
That's it.
Come on now. Welcome, everybody. Today, Daddy, what are we talking about?
Tell them, love.
Are you relationship ready?
Are you relationship ready?
Are you relationship ready? Because, oftentimes you'll hear, especially with the women, what they want in a man and what they need, and, all these expectations and requirements and a list of their do's and their don'ts. And then they get it and they're not ready for it. What you get ready to say, baby?
Oftentimes, I guess because it makes sense because you're a woman that you think that it's just one of those things that's oftentimes with a woman, but it's with men too, that they have this need, especially when you've been alone and you want to be with someone and don't consider why you're alone.
Mm.
And are you ready for that relationship?
Okay, so, and I know some of y'all are saying, well, what do you mean? Like, are you ready for a relationship? Are you ready for what you're asking for?
And let's take it back.
Take it back, Daddy.
What prompted this discussion?
Oh, so, what prompted this discussion? And the call-in number is 470-282-1802. Here's what prompted this discussion. So, someone that's very dear to us, very dear, speaks about wanting a relationship and speaks about wanting the protection and security of a strong man, speaks about wanting a gentleman, speaks about not wanting to be the man in the relationship anymore. You know what I'm saying? Speaks about what, Daddy?
That's what she speaks about.
Right. It's like, a lot of us will say, I want to stop standing up when I go to the bathroom. I want to stop having to make all the decisions. I want to stop having to be the man in the relationship. We ask for those things. And then when we're presented with it, we have a hard time not being the man in the relationship.
Yeah. Yeah.
Which will turn off real men.
Or you want to be too much of the man in the relationship where you don't respect your partner. And there's so many culminations of things that can go wrong in a relationship if you're not prepared to listen, prepared to acquiesce, and allow that person to have a point of view without you trying to dominate the situation. And the truth of the matter is, like friendship, relationship, they're hard.
Yeah.
That's why oftentimes they don't last. So are you ready to put in the work for a relationship?
Okay, so let me just give y'all an example.
Give it.
Right? So when we first got together, I was not ready for a relationship. I was not ready in my consideration. I was not ready in my patience. My ego wasn't ready for it. I wasn't ready. However, our friendship, I believe, allowed you to be patient enough with me till I got an understanding of what it was to be in a relationship.
You want to go to the line?
Let's do it. Hey, baby, you're on with Monique and Sydney. Who's this and where you're calling from?
Hey, Monique. This is Kenneth. And hey, Sydney. I'm calling from Little Rock, Arkansas. How you guys doing?
Wonderful, baby.
Super fantastic. Talk to us.
Well, first of all, let me just say I think you guys are absolutely brilliant and incredible. And thank you for all you guys do. I listen to your show all the time, and I'm an actor myself, so and a performer, so I get it. So with the relationship question, it's really interesting because what I tend to realize more and more is that people have in their mind the perfect guy. They have these lists of things, but they don't. They see what they want, but what they really want is not what they want because it comes with a lot of other stuff that wasn't on the list. And I'm finding that out more and more, especially because you have, and I will tell you, TV doesn't do people who want relationships any good because you have a owner. That's not real because everybody doesn't have a six pack. Okay, you have people that have a beer belly. You have people that they don't look that standard. So I think we have to change the conversation about how we are seen, not versus how we see people, because what we see is not really the truth. And that's where I come from because I live this life every day, and there's nobody. I mean, what people really want is not really realistic because what they want is somebody that has the deep body, this model body, and whatever else, and as a result, they miss out on somebody that they could really love them for them. And they could really love them for them over the outside versus the inside.
We appreciate that.
We love you, baby.
I love you too. Hey, Monique.
Yes, sweetness.
Baby, I cannot wait to meet you. I cannot wait to stand on the stage with you. I can't wait to perform with you because iron sharpens iron, and I'm ready for the fire, baby.
Hey, I'll hold you to it.
I love you.
Love you, baby. Thank you, baby.
Thank you.
Come on, y'all. Are you relationship ready? What was you going to say, Daddy?
Truth Seeker said, I'm working on my flaws and I'm not quite ready for a relationship yet.
Come on.
And that's beautiful because it's kind of like the little the person, what do you call them on the plane? The
stewardess.
Oh, is that what they still call the flight attendant?
They're not stewardess anymore.
I guess they little
shit, y'all.
They say if the oxygen gets low, you got to put the mask on yourself first before you can assist anyone that's with you or a small child. So when Truth Seeker says, I got to work on my flaws before I get into the relationship, he's saying, I got to put that mask on myself first to get oxygenated so that I can breathe a level of life into someone else. And at the very least, be whole as a person.
Come on.
So that I'm not looking for someone to complete me, if you will. I'm already complete. We just add to one another.
You know, Daddy, I hear that. And I want to say I understand that. But I can only speak for me. That's right? It. So I won't say that. I don't know. I don't know when you say you are, because I didn't come complete. I wasn't complete when we got together. I wasn't whole when we got together. I wasn't even sane when we got together. I wasn't when I came to the table, the only thing I thought I bought was stuff. That's all I could offer. I offered stuff. I offered a bunch of foolishness, but I didn't, at the time when we got together, I wasn't any of those things.
Well, see, there's the first rule of logic. There's not one rule that applies to every situation.
Right.
So because that was his situation is not indicative of that being your situation. And you misinterpreted that all you had was stuff. Because once you understood that the stuff didn't mean anything, then it allowed us to delve into the relationship, because what you forgot about was when we was walking the Popeyes to get a 2-piece, there was no stuff. When we were riding to Kensington, Maryland in the Ford Festiva, that $10, $20 could fill it up for a week. There was no stuff. Right. There was the relationship, there was the love, there was the real conversation. So we did have that to fall back on. So when you have individuals that say they had to work on themselves, see, he had the presence of mind, and True Seeker knows that he got to work on him. But your thought process wasn't like that. And as our brother that just called in said, being in Hollywood can get your mind focused on things that aren't real, and you forget about what's real. Because we had the Billy D, Diana Ross moment.
Yes, we did.
You know what I'm saying?
Yes, did.
Yeah.
Yes, we did.
Because you have to say that, I forgot my brother's line, but it's like, look,
success is nothing
without somebody you love.
Yeah. We had the Billy D. Williams and Diana Ross moment. We had the Malcolm X and Betty Shabazz moment. Remember that moment, y'all, at Malcolm X when Malcolm was sitting at the table and Betty was like, listen, this is some bullshit, Malcolm. They got new furniture and shit. They got a lot of things and we don't have nothing. What's going on? And she began to raise her voice. And you saw Malcolm X slam that newspaper down on that table and jump up out that seat and say, don't you ever raise your voice to me in my house. Well, we had to have that moment. We had to have that moment as well, because I jumped up and I jumped up aggressively and I jumped up. And I was so used to jumping up, not just because I start nothing, but because if I thought that it was getting ready to be a violation or it was getting ready to be something that was going to challenge my authority, it would push me different. So when I did it before with the other guys, it was either we was going to fist fight or they was going to be like, Monique, you just tripping, and back down. Well, I jumped up that night, and when I jumped up, we was we was right here. And he said, hey, don't you ever raise your voice to me again, because I'll never raise my voice to you. So it's moments like that, sisters, that grew me up. It's moments like that that when I say I wasn't ready, because I wasn't in a place where I could have a logical conversation. I wasn't in a place where it would take me some time to say, you know what, I'm wrong on that. And I apologize. It would take me some time. So when we first got together, and I don't want to jump subject, I want to stay on subject, but it's just something that's touching me differently.
Touch it.
It's like I'm watching, and I can only speak to Black women because that's who I'm around, that's who I know, that's what I see. We're getting so conditioned to be so hard and to be so being a mogul and being a boss and being empowered and being independent that we're losing our niceness. And
however, with that said, it's understandable, and that's what transpired with you and I apologize for cutting you off, because oftentimes people don't understand that Black women are at the bottom of the totem pole and they have a different fight in a different way. So when you would go through the things that you went through, what you forgot was I saw what you had to go through before you got to Hollywood. So there was a level of appreciation and, most importantly, empathy for what it was that you went through, because I saw my mother, I saw my grandmother, you see your aunts, you see your uncles, and there was never a greater nurturer in my life than the Black woman. So it was an honor to be able to give the nurturing that I got to my Black woman. So understand the fight is real, but when you're in a relationship and you have to say to yourself, are we going to be together forever? Because if we are, let's have our disagreements like we're going to be together forever. Not like after this, we going our separate ways. When you know you're going to be together forever, it's kind of like knowing the end of the movie before you see it. There's a level of anger and excitement from a standpoint of being and talking vitriolic to your partner and nasty to your partner, that you don't, because you're saying we've got to nurture this relationship. We got to nurture one another. And I know that you disagreeing with me comes from a place of, it's kind of like in sales, they say, people don't say no because they don't want to buy from you. They say no because they don't have enough information to say yes. And we sometimes in our disagreements, we have to learn how to give that person enough information to understand our side so they can say yes. They may not agree, but at least they know that you're not coming from a place of just being sideways, trying to be the boss or whatever. So that's why it's so important to have that dialogue, because oftentimes we don't want to talk to one another when we get mad. I ain't got shit to say to you. I ain't got nothing to say. As opposed to, let's talk it out.
And I'm going to tell y'all something. We generalize us. Because I'll hear sisters say, Black men don't want to talk. I'll even hear some brothers say, man, I ain't got time for all that. But it ain't all of them. Because it's this man right here that say, no, let's talk about it. No, let's talk about it. Because even now, I can still be challenged with getting my ass on my back. I'm going to hold it there for about 20 minutes, 30 minutes, 45.
Case in point.
Get it?
Okay. What's our girl?
Oh, Corey.
Our sister, Corey B, who's, y'all going to hear about this young lady if you haven't heard, one of the funniest sisters on the come up.
Yes.
Okay. She gave Monique for some boy shorts for me to wear, for her to wear for me. Okay. Back in the day, you call them coochie cutters. Okay.
But no, Daddy.
Okay. But not coochie cutters, but they little sexy shorts. Okay.
Yeah.
So we are at the beach on vacation, and Monique is getting ready to put them on to go down to the beach. And I'm like, I like them shorts, but where you going with them, baby? And our niece came in and said, I see you, young thing. What you doing? So she got offended because I was like, baby, where you going with them shorts? And was trying to carry that thing, that little attitude for, a little bit. And I was like, my mama, are you serious that you got an attitude because I asked you where you going with them shorts? And she was like, you know how you know you wrong, but you don't want to say you wrong, and she was trying to get right until she cooked up with Corey, and then gonna try to blame Corey and say, Corey, you know you got me in trouble wearing them little shorts. And Corey had to tell her what? Corey
said, bitch, I told you that those were just for your boyfriend. You tried to wear shit to brunch.
Okay. Okay. You can't wear your little sexy shorts to brunch because, see, we got kids. I'm like, baby.
Okay.
The kids don't need to see mama looking like Poochie.
Yeah, we're going to get
back. And mama.
We're going to get back.
It's just mama.
We're going to get back.
But my bad. We digress.
I know, because I want to speak on it.
Speak on it.
So, okay, y'all. When I put the shorts on, right, right, Daddy? They was really nice.
Yeah.
So when I walked out of the bathroom, I didn't get the immediate response that I thought I was going to get. I thought he was going to be like, oh, mama, what I got was.
Where you going with that? See, you put one foot in front of the other.
So okay. I was.
And so okay. You be walking out the door.
Out the door. So and this is what I say when I say, are you relationship ready? So to tell you how it went, we go down to the beach, right? And we are sky watchers, and you'd be surprised what you see if you just look up, right? And our babies are out there, and They're running into the water, and it's a beautiful time. And I'm standing there in my feelings. Ah, how foolish of me to waste those moments. I'm in my freaking feelings over some shorts. So much so, this is when you know, sisters, when you want to say, can we just rewind and start over? So when we get back to the room, I'm still kind of there. And he says to me, Mama, are you still, are you? He said, he said, you should be ashamed of this.
You should be ashamed of yourself for acting that way.
So at that point, sisters, y'all would have been proud. I said, I want to apologize for my behavior because I'm like, bitch, you should be ashamed. You should be ashamed. You looking like the last whore on the block. What's your shorts on?
The next to the last. Okay.
Thank you for not making me the last.
You weren't the last.
The next to the last.
The next to the last.
So it's those things, though, that could have destroyed the whole trip. As small as that is, it could have destroyed the whole trip because we can lose consideration of everybody else. As I did briefly, because I wanted to be stuck in my feelings simply because you didn't respond the way that I wanted you to respond. And I'm glad that we can laugh and I can say it out loud because there was a time I could not. There was a time.
And the reason why we have these straight conversations with people, because oftentimes these things are kept in private because we want to pretend that everything about us is so perfect and don't realize that the true blessing is that you are imperfect and you find a way to navigate towards that perfection in your relationship because friendship is hard. Relationships are hard. And you're not going to be with someone for any length of time unless you learn how to cooperate. Because if I get mad because she's mad, she can get madder than I can get mad. Okay? She can get madder than me. So I already know, listen, we don't need to go down the lane of anger because I can't win that. That's not. If I can get you into the world of logic, the world of being rational, I got a chance.
From.
Holy smack. Hey, what's up? My name is Steven and I'm calling from West Des Moines, Iowa. Sorry. Wow. Hi, Monique. How are you?
Hi, baby. We're wonderful, brother. How you doing?
I'm good. How you doing? My God. I can't finally got through.
I
love you.
We love you back, baby.
Inspiration. I love you so much.
Talk to us.
Huh?
Talk. Talk. Ready?
How you doing?
Fantastic. How you doing?
Good. Oh my God, Monique, can you say hi to my wife Stephanie too? She's not here. She's still working, but we're fans of you, baby.
Hey, Stephanie, how you doing, my baby?
Oh wow, I love your work, man. You are hilarious, and may God bless you and continue blessings. I don't even know what to say. I'm nervous. I love you so much.
We love you back, brother. Thank you, Steven.
Thanks for calling.
Come on now, y'all. Those are the ones
Those are the
to make us say we gotta keep something too. With our dear friend, what makes me nervous is, will you stay by yourself forever if you're not willing to change? If you're not willing. And I know that's easier said than done, but is it really? Because when you really want something different, you make an effort of doing something different. It don't happen overnight, but you at least make the effort.
Marietta Saunders, did you ever feel some type of way when everyone came at Sydney for the wrong shit? I'm newly divorced. I own everything. It's time for me to date. Monique/Sydney, these men are lame. Prop Sydney. So she's asking you, did you ever feel some type of way when everyone came at Sydney for the wrong shit?
Well, I didn't take it personal because I understood it. We've been trained to be that way. We've been conditioned to be that way. I think that I took it personal when it came from my family that knew Sydney. I took that personal because I'm like, y'all know this cat. So why are we now having conversations like you don't know him? Why are we now talking like y'all haven't went to him individually, my mother and my brother, and had conversations in reference to how they appreciated who he was. So I took that personal. But when it came from outside people, I understood it because when you had people saying, oh, this man then messed up her career. That black man messed up her career. You can't trust no black man to handle your career. And I'm like, y'all, listen to the poison that we've been conditioned to believe. You can't trust no black man to handle your career. So what you're telling me is I should put my life in the white man's hands? And
just because.
Right, just because. I don't know what his background is, don't know. So I understood it. We understood it because that's what we've been conditioned and trained to believe. However, I do appreciate the sisters and the brothers, and I never ever want to leave them out that says, we appreciate y'all hanging in there together. We appreciate y'all saying, we team. We appreciate y'all showing us and motivating us as y'all motivate us. For the ones out there that is team and is saying, we down for each other, baby, to the end, without wavering from our positioning from one another. So when it comes from people that don't know your situation, you can't take it personal because they don't know it. And then what my husband had to explain to me, I couldn't even take it personal from my family members. I couldn't even take it personal from them because y'all know what the truth really is. So that's something y'all have to deal with. So it's those things. What you gonna say something, Daddy?
I was just going to say that, you just stated that, people have their challenges. And because of the challenges that your folks had, the relationship that you knew that they had, there was a level of appreciation that I knew from watching them that they couldn't have for what you were having. And Dante Carson, I saw, said, I fight with depression every day, pray to God to help me get through this. These are part of the challenges that people have to deal with when they're connecting with relationships, because the most important relationship that you can ever have with someone is the relationship that you have with yourself. And it's a challenging world when you walk out of the door, everybody's trying to win. Everybody's trying, cancel. Everybody's trying to make it. And they will do it at your expense oftentimes. And if you're alone and by yourself, you ask you, how can I get through this? Because if you keep getting beat up and you're in a certain crowd that says this is just the way it is, it's kind of like being alone, but everyone's telling you that you're doing it counterintuitively from how it's supposed to be done. And because they've never seen it done that way, they're telling you that you're wrong, but they're built differently from you, and they're not taking that into consideration. And if you're by yourself, you begin to believe what the people around you are saying because you have no one to turn to that knows you inside out. And then to make matters worse, if you get beat up before you can even make it out the door by what's transpiring on the inside of your house, that's going to magnify things. So for us, when we hear people say that they, for instance, you've messed up her career, the question I always ask is, by simply doing what she asked me to do, by simply standing by her side and saying, so I'm not supposed to recognize her value? I'm supposed to disallow or allow others to not recognize what she's done as we negotiate about these things? Because oftentimes we run into people that know nothing about sales, know nothing about business. They know a lot about nepotism and they have positions, but they couldn't close a door, much less a deal, if they really were put in a situation where they had to be in a position to, as they say, grind for.
Mm.
So you can't be upset. So when you speak to people in this way and they say that you're difficult, it is challenging to talk to people who are saying, listen, respectfully, we gotta do things differently because, again, Black women have a different role than anybody else in the game. Women of color have a different role than anybody else at the game. They're the most used and the most underserved beings, in my humble opinion, on the face of the planet. And by women of color, Latin, Black, Native American, women of color, okay, are the most unappreciated. So if you are a man and you are dealing with a woman of color, there's a level of empathy that is important that you have, because there's some challenge that she may be faced with. PTSD is not just something, post-traumatic stress disorder is not just something that's associated with people who carry guns and who are in the Army, Navy, Air Force, and Marines. PTSD is something that can happen to your loved one because of the trauma that they experienced in their lives before they got to you. So sometimes we have to be the Wounded Warrior Foundation as the men to say, listen, we're going to nurture you back because you're too valuable to let go. And if you have a good woman, they're going to respect and they're going to appreciate it. And the proof is I'm sitting right next to her. Because she, as tough as she is, what she wasn't so tough is to not appreciate love and respect. You want to go to the line, my love?
Let's go to the line, Daddy. Hey, you're on with Monique and Sydney. Who's this and where you're calling from? Hello? We went to, you know, this was one of those conversations that always is really passionate for me. And y'all know I'll be trying to keep my emotions in check because I see so many of us hurting. Like I see it. And being on that stage and being on stages, period, around this country, and I get a chance. And this is why I love the comedy clubs, because I'm right there. It's a different connection than the big theaters to the comedy clubs. The big theaters, in that moment, I'm an entertainer because I can't reach you. I'm entertaining. For me, in the comedy clubs, it's almost like it's the cookout. It's the family get together because we're right there with one another. But I'm looking at a lot of our sisters sitting there with their husbands, or with their men, and their body energy and their body language say, don't say nothing to me. Their body language says, I'm the boss. I'll meet some of them at the meet and greet. And I'll have to say to her and whisper in her ear, bitch, if you don't apologize to this man right now and watch your mouth, who you talking to? Because I'll watch them. Get over here. Look, stand right there for a second. Oh, you getting on my nerves. Now, there's a line for meet and greet and everybody's watching this performance. And I'm like, if he grab you up, because what if his ego can't withstand the beating that you're putting on him verbally? So I'll watch it night in and night out. And then I get a chance to watch it up close to someone that's very close to me. I've watched it up close with quite a few sisters that's very close to me. And I have to make sure I'm never standing in judgment because I was them. I was them.
That's the key.
I was them. With every man I've had in my life before I got to this one right here, I was them women. You couldn't tell me nothing. If you raise your voice, please understand I'm raising mine. If you ball up your fist, you better understand I'm balling up mine. And listen, you want to stay mad, you don't know nothing about staying mad. I was her, and I was her comfortably. I was her unapologetically. I was her that when I called my mother, she understood it. And yeah, that don't make no sense. And yeah, I understand it. I was the same one that my mother said to me, you know what, Monique, this a damn shame. You've given Sidney all the power. And I said, ma'am, yeah, you've given him all your power. I said, no, mommy. What you see is me giving him respect, something I've never seen you do with my father. So I understand why you would think it's power, because you see me saying, wait a minute, before I make a decision, let me check with my husband and see which way we're going to go with this. Wait a minute, before I just say I'm a rock and roll, let me check. Now, please understand, there were times, baby, that I was not relationship ready. I ain't got to check with nobody. I ain't got to say nothing to nobody. You go get me something to drink, but I'll be goddamn if I'm going to get you something to drink. I'm a boss. Remember that?
Yes, I do. Yes, I do. And it's one of those things where, again, being able to be blessed to see, because to witness a poor relationship is a blessing in disguise, because it gives you all the ammunition you need in order for you to have a good relationship. So I was blessed to see my father's interaction with my mother, amongst other people's interaction. And the one thing that I learned through sales is when you ask someone a question, it is much more powerful than you making a statement, because you can make a statement and people will question what it is that you're saying. But if you ask the right questions, they can't question the answer that they gave you. They're not going to challenge themselves based upon the answer that they gave you. So when you say to them, so let me get this right, you believe that it's fair for you to ask me to get you something to drink, which I have no problem with, but you have a problem with getting something to drink for me. Explain to me, if I thought the same way as you, how long would you be thirsty?
And that's the shit.
And you start thinking about it like, well, and again, to her credit, because she always say what I've done nothing except ask a question. The work was put in essentially by her, because she was truthful enough to say, yo, I made a mistake. And before we were boyfriend, girlfriend, husband, and wife, we were best friends, brothers and sisters. And our motto was, I'm going to tell you what you need to know, not what you want to hear. And that's how we did it.
And it was hard, because I had to keep getting a lot of what I needed to know. And at the time, my ego was big, not intentionally. Not intentionally. It was unintentional, but either way, it was what it was. So it took me a lot of having to hear what I needed to know. And sisters, I will plead with us, get out the way. Get out the way of your ego. Get out the way of the foolishness your mama told you, your grandmama told you, and pay attention. Like, just really pay attention to the relationships in your family. That's why so you're relationship ready. Pay attention to the relationships in your family, because my parents did not prepare any of their children for a healthy relationship. Let me say that, because what we saw wasn't healthy. Nonetheless, it was a relationship, but it wasn't healthy. And oftentimes we don't know that it's insanity, because we've been so used to it being that way, we don't see a problem with it being a problem. My grandmother act that way, my mother act that way, my aunts act that way. So what's the problem? But when you realize I keep feeling unhappy. I keep feeling unsatisfied. There lies the problem. Let's go to the lines. Hey, you're on the line with Monique and Sydney. Who's this and where you're calling from? Hello? Daddy, I'm going to get it right next time that it rings.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to do it, baby.
Mm-hmm.
But really, we got to start asking ourselves in real honest conversation, not the BS ones, the real ones. Hey, you're on with Monique and Sydney. Who's this and where you're calling from?
Oh my God. Hey, Auntie. Auntie and Uncle.
Hey, baby.
What's happening?
I have missed the hell out of y'all. You have no idea.
Hey, sweetness.
We missed you back.
I'm doing good. People are doing good. I just wanted to, this discussion today is very deep. And it's very close to my heart. It really is. Because I was not relationship ready. And a part of me still isn't relationship ready. I'm trying my best to be a better me. Wait, hold on. Let me turn down my TV. I don't know if you can hear it, but it's reverb.
You good on our end.
Okay. So what it took me a while to stop falling in line with the rest of the dominoes in my family who were used to being abused. It took me a while to stop falling in line and falling with the rest because, like them, I was used to being abused and I demanded to be used. Well, if you weren't abusing me fast enough, I was going to make you abuse me because this is not happiness unless I'm being beat up, stabbed in the head, all sorts of things. I deserve this, and that's what my mind was telling me because that's what I was used to. My mother wasn't abused by my father, but she was abused. I guess you could say mentally. Well, my father cheated on her. He walked out when I was 14, and he married his best friend's wife. But prior to that, I have a little brother who's only a year younger than me. So that means he was cheating on my mother since I was born in 64. So, I guess from that, I learned that, I have to always take the back seat. I have to always expect folks to walk all over me. And I did just that. And if you weren't walking all over me, then I laid down so you could walk over me.
Mm-hmm.
And if you didn't walk over me, then I laid in your pathway so you had no choice but to walk over me.
You was going to make sure, baby.
Right.
But what happened was, it wasn't until I got with teaching. And the first 5 years, about 25 years, I spent throwing things, angry. I wasn't trying to hit her. I was just angry and throwing things and smacking stuff off the wall and, just breaking dishes and carrying on. And my ending sentence would always be, "Go ahead and hit me. You want to." And she would look at me like, what the hell are you talking about? No, I don't want to hit you. And it took me 5 years to realize that other shoe is not going to drop. Okay, the anvil is not coming down. Stop acting like it is. And then I had to learn, I went to your show, Auntie, and you mentioned in the show that you had to look at yourself and see what you were doing in a relationship. And it was at that point when we were sitting in the audience and I almost wanted to just run out of there because I said, oh my God, I've never looked at myself. I always thought that everything that happened to me was because, it was all them and it wasn't me. And I had to pull in my reins because of you. You taught me to look at myself. And I realized I didn't like how I was. And I was a catalyst for a lot of the things I'm not saying I was the reason why somebody hit me. I'm just saying, I was a catalyst for a lot of the arguments. And the lack of love that I was receiving, I was a catalyst for that because I had my mother's independent, you're not going to get the last word out of me kind of attitude, and I was wrong in a lot of ways. And I'm trying now to be a better person. And I used to want Peaches and I to have a baby together. And I was begging for that and begging for that. And she kept telling me, no, I don't want to have any kids because she already had one from her previous relationship who I've raised. And he's 31 now. But I wanted a baby out of my stomach, or at least from me some kind of way. And it always hurt me. And then I had to realize, had I had a child back in the day when we first got together 25 years ago, that child would be ruined right now.
Come on.
The mentality of that child, the makeup of that child would be horrible. They'd be angry all the time, and because I was angry all the time. So, am my relationship ready now? Sometimes. When I pull in my own reins, yes. But I wasn't ready in the beginning. 25 years ago, I was not ready.
You know what? You're more relationship ready than you realize, because the one thing that you always do is you're always assessing yourself. You're not just judging other people, but you're assessing yourself. And that's all we can do is turn that fine-tune knob so that we can, kind of like when you listen to the radio back in the day where you had to turn the knob and you heard the station in the distance, but you got to turn a little bit more to the left and a little bit more to the right. Now you got it. We're always fine-tuning ourselves. And every time I hear you, every time we have a discussion, you don't realize it, but you're always fine-tuning yourself. And because we're not perfect, that's as close as you can get to it, because you're always working on you. And that means you're always, through working on you, that means you're conscious of Peaches. And that's why y'all been together how long?
25 years.
Come on now. Come on.
We love you, baby.
We love you guys so much.
Hug Peaches for us.
And thank you. And please hug Robin, tell her we love her, and Tommy T.
We will do it, my baby.
Okay, honey.
All right, honey. Come on, y'all. Are you relationship ready?
And I got to get 2 shots out.
Give it to her, Daddy.
Lun
Lun
says, so much love on this channel. That's because people like you are on it, and we appreciate y'all. And number 2, D Love 65, she says, I love you, Mo. You helped me to love myself when I was much bigger than I am now. So thank y'all for tuning in.
We love y'all, my babies.
We love you.
For real. And that's why we do this show.
Yeah, and we want to shout you out because what y'all saying is not going unnoticed. And we want y'all to know that we see y'all.
Fight for it, y'all.
Fight for it.
You know, when we say relationship ready, and I really appreciate that about Israel, because she be saying the real shit. She said, listen, I don't know if I'm relationship ready sometime now.
Well, she said, I'm relationship ready sometimes.
But I understand that, right? Because it's a work, but it could be a pleasurable work. Let's go to the line. Hey, you're on the phone with Monique and Sydney. Who's this and where you're calling from?
Hey, I'm Chris from Florida. How you doing, Monique?
Hey, Chris from Florida.
I just want to tell you and say that I love y'all, first of all. I really do. I love y'all. I've been watching y'all ever since first episode of The Park in the 99 when I was in 7th grade.
Wow.
And I just want to tell you that I love you. You know, you're just such an inspiration. And Sydney, I mean, what an example you are. What an example you are to all of us black men. Forget about any other race, just us black men, because we need that kind of encouragement from somebody who looks like you. So I just wanted to just call and just say, I love you too, and just keep doing what you're doing. Just keep doing it. Everything that you're doing is right, you know? And I felt for you, Monique. I just want to tell the world right now that Monique is what we need in this comedy world. We need Monique. We need Monique. I'm talking about, I was just saying the other day, what the topic is, are we relationship ready? And just seeing you two in your relationship, anyone who watches you is relationship ready. That's what you two don't understand. You know, that's what you two don't understand. And I want to make sure that you guys do understand that, okay? I love you two so much. And just thank you two for just inspiring me. Thank you so much for just giving positive energy. I watch your workout videos every day. Now, I may end up on the floor without nobody to call because, you know, I don't have health insurance until my 90 days. So we don't have a job, but we're going to get there.
We love you,
We
baby.
love you, and thank you for the call.
All right, I love y'all. Y'all have a good day. Bye bye.
Thank you, baby. Right.
You just got to marinate on that for a sec, because just the voice, to me, of what we call our regular folk, because that's all we are,
That's it.
is way more important than any red carpet that we could ever walk on. Because when you are appreciated by your people, you won.
That's it.
That's it. That's it. Now, he
Yeah.
done got all us off our game,
Right now, damn.
but we appreciate it.
Are you relationship ready? And let's work on it. If not, and you know what, Daddy? I don't want to just make it about a romantic relationship. Are you relationship ready? Period. Because any relationship takes work. Any relationship, not just husband and wife, but sister and sister, brother and sister, friend and friend, aunt and niece, aunt. Every relationship you deal with, if it's worth you having, it takes work. So in asking yourself, am my relationship ready? Am I willing to give what it is that I'm asking for?
That's the key.
Come on now. Hey, you're on with Monique and Sydney. Who's this and where you're calling from?
Oh my God, I got through. Oh my gosh. Hi, Monique. Hi, Brother Sydney. How are you guys doing today?
Wonderful, baby. How you doing?
Oh my God, I can't believe I actually got through. I got home today. I had a biopsy done. I know I'm off topic. And I was feeling so down. And you guys came on and just started cheering me up and just, I'm holding out for that brother like your husband because you have a good man, Monique.
Yes.
I had to check someone online the other day for that because they were talking about your husband mess up deals for you. I'm like, don't blame that man for standing up for his wife.
Come on.
That man is making sure that she's not taking the crap they're shoveling to her. And sometimes you have to walk away from some deals if it's not the correct deal.
Come
So
on.
respect to you, Brother Sydney.
Thank you.
Respect to you for standing by that woman. And respect for not taking advantage of the fact that she said yes, that she's allowing and giving you that respect that is due unto you. You know what I mean? Because some men would take advantage of that situation.
We
So
appreciate
much
it.
respect to you because Sister Mo, I love you so much. I came to Vegas last week to see you, but you were not working.
Yes.
So I went to see the Michael Jackson one concert instead. But let me tell you, man, I love you. I wanted to meet you in person to let you know that I respect you so much. And for standing up, for saying no in a world where everyone seems to be saying yes to everything that is being shoveled to them. So respect to you, sister. Just know that you are appreciated, you are loved, and Brother Sydney, thanks for showing that they're a real man still available. So, I'm just taking my hat off to you. I'm not feeling my best today, but keep me in your prayers, everyone that's listening, please.
We got you, baby.
Just know that you guys are so appreciated. Okay?
And you stay strong.
I will. Thank you so much.
Thank you, baby. Do me a favor.
Yes,
Wrap your arms around yourself, baby,
I am.
and squeeze real tight.
I am.
We love you, honey.
Thank you so much. I love you guys so much, man.
Thank you, sis.
Have a blessed day.
Oh, you too.
What is going on around here? Y'all can call in and do this to us, but we appreciate you.
Okay. All right. So,
I was going to say we got another call.
well, I'm going
Get
to go
yourself
to it,
together.
Daddy. Okay. Hey, you're on with Monique and Sydney. Who's this and where you're calling from?
There you go. That's the bounce back.
Hi, this is Lynette. How are you doing today?
Hey, Lynette. Wonderful, baby. How you doing?
Talk to.
great. I'm Beaver 65 that your husband has mentioned.
Hey, baby.
Hey.
How are you?
Wonderful.
I am so, well, you have been a great inspiration in my life.
Mm.
And I just want to let you know that you will always be in my heart. You have helped me through a lot of things. I, had a lot of weight on me and just haven't given myself self-confidence. And seeing you dance on the stage with Beyonce, that really helped me out a lot. Just by because I followed you ever since. I was 64 this year, and I feel great about myself. Just getting that self-esteem from you.
I'm so glad, baby, as you've given it to me.
Mm-hmm. Yes, I just wanted to hear your voice. Never heard your voice before, like on the phone. And I am so happy for you both. And I ask God to continue to bless your marriage and everything. Because you're the best, you're the star, and your husband is too. He gave the star.
We love you, baby.
We
Thank you so
appreciate you.
much, honey.
Thank you.
Mwah. Okay.
All righty.
Okay. So what?
Well, at the end of the day, we got a chance to enjoy the power of relationships.
Come on, y'all.
Because not through ours, we get a chance to share in other positive relationships with other people. And as we watched the folks in the community right here talking to one another, this is how we have positive relationships. And through sharing positive thoughts, positive things, because there's so much negativity, the only thing you think that everything is about is money, murder, and mayhem.
Come on.
So
money, murder, mayhem.
It's about that time
for us to say,
I ain't messing with you.
I
ain't messing with you. I ain't messing with you.
You got to always come in with it.
I ain't
like you can't just not come in with it. You got to go with the flow, and then we talk about it later.
Listen, I'm bitter. They wouldn't give me the rap contract that I needed because my rhymes wasn't tight. That's what they said. They threw me out the business. Okay?
Then they stole your rhymes. Now I'm gonna say what the shit is.
Well, the truth of the matter is,
come on,
they gave them back. They didn't steal. They took them and said, "Hey, you gonna take these back?" So I'm bitter. So I ain't even doing it.
We love y'all, for real, my babies, and we thank y'all because y'all could have been doing anything else at this moment, but y'all decided to come play with us for a few minutes. So we love y'all and we thank y'all. And like my daddy says, the mind is like a parachute.
It is no good unless it's open.
We love y'all.
For free.
Mwah. Bye, babies.
Y'all take care.